Dominik Feri, you've probably heard the name. Stylish, outspoken, the youngest ever member of parliament in the Czech Republic. At just 21, he became the rising star of parliament. His speeches went viral. People called him the Czech Obama. But then, 3 women came forward, and they said, he took everything from us without our consent. This wasn't just a case about assault. It was about the intoxication of power and the devil hiding behind a liberal mask. The man hailed as a hero is now locked away in Teplice prison. This is the truth, the one the world refused to hear. The political star Dominik Feri's rise, Czech Republic, a new face walks into the Parliament Hall. Dominik Feri, just 21 years old, curly hair, modern suit, overflowing with confidence. People were amazed. So young, so bold, could he really be a leader? The answer was yes. The media quickly dubbed him the future prime minister. His speeches were full of energy and youth appeal. He spoke about feminism, climate change, and education. Students idolized him. Politicians began to see him as a threat. His Instagram was vibrant. Libraries, rallies, concerts. The liberal elite embraced him as their poster boy. But behind every carefully curated image, there was a hidden side. In private chats, he could be aggressive. He would invite young women to exclusive parties. For some of them, he wasn't a smiling leader, he was a predator. When he stood in parliament, applause echoed around him. People believed every word. He'd say, "Equality is everyone's right." And the world agreed. This man is the real deal. But behind every cheer, every round of applause, he only felt one thing: power. And power became his addiction, one he wouldn't limit to the stage. He brought it into his private life. At the peak of his popularity, every TV channel wanted his interview. Every podcast wanted him as a guest. When he took the stage at youth festivals, people saw him as a messiah. But not every messiah is an angel. Some just wear a convincing disguise. A first accusation, the echo of a silent scream. A private party in Prague, a student, whose name was never disclosed, gets an invitation. Host, Dominik Feri. She says, "I went to his apartment because he said he just wanted to talk." But that night, everything changed. She said, "I told him to stop. He said I misunderstood." This was the first accusation, but people reacted. Feri? No way. He's too educated. That's impossible. Then another woman came forward. Then a third. All 3 described separate incidents at different times in different places, but the pattern was identical. One victim was just 17 years old. Speaking out was not easy, but they found the courage. They went to court. They spoke to the media, and then a powerful story emerged. A nightmare where the hero became the villain. These weren't vague complaints. They were detailed, consistent. Feri was as calculated in his harassment as he was about his public image. He used psychological pressure. "You'd say no to someone like me?" Or, "Do you even realize what kind of opportunity you're passing up?" This wasn't just about physical assault. It was psychological manipulation, emotional coercion, and abuse of fame. The women stayed silent, but only for a while. Because when voices rise, even the system begins to shake. Courtroom chaos when the hero faced trial. In 2021, the media exploded with reports that sent shockwaves through the Czech Republic. Dominik Feri was under investigation for multiple accusations of sexual misconduct. His reaction was swift. He resigned from parliament, deleted his social media accounts, disappeared from the public eye. The golden boy of Czech politics had vanished overnight. But the legal system had just begun its work. By 2022, formal charges were filed. 2 counts of assault, 1 count of attempted assault. The charges weren't just serious, they were explosive. The trial attracted global media attention. Victims stepped into the courtroom, not just as witnesses, but as survivors. They detailed moments that haunted them. One by one, they painted a chilling portrait of a man who used charm as a weapon and status as a shield. The prosecution brought in chat logs, testimonies from friends, psychological evaluations. Each piece reinforced a narrative. Dominik Feri knew what he was doing, and he believed he would get away with it. Feri maintained his innocence. His lawyers called the accusations exaggerated. They pointed to inconsistencies. But for every question they raised, the victims had answers. Raw, emotional, undeniable. One said, "He laughed when I said no." Another, he told me I should feel honored. In February 2024, after months of hearings, the court found him guilty. The judge's words were somber. A man trusted with power must never exploit it. Feri's final move was to appeal. He claimed the process was unfair. But in May 2024, the appeal was officially rejected. The sentence, 3 years in Tepla prison. The verdict wasn't just about one man's fall. It was a turning point, a moment when society said, enough. The mask drops when power becomes poison. Dominik Feri's story isn't just about crimes, it's about contradictions. How can someone fight for women's rights and violate those very rights behind closed doors? He was the symbol of progress. Young, biracial, charismatic, a living, breathing image of what a modern leader should be. He wore that image like armor. But inside, a hunger for dominance. This was more than double standards. It was calculated betrayal. He spoke of consent, respect, dignity, but his actions told another story. He wasn't just abusing individuals. He was manipulating a whole nation's belief in progress. And yet, many shielded him for years. His colleagues dismissed early whispers. Journalists hesitated to dig deeper. Supporters insisted he's not like that. This is the price of image worship. When charisma replaces accountability, the consequences are devastating. His victims weren't just hurt by him, they were gaslit by a society that refused to believe them. That's the second wound, the deeper one, but their courage created change. Because the more they spoke, the more undeniable the truth became. The louder their voices got, the harder it became for anyone to look away. The reckoning. Truth echoes louder. Today, Dominik Feri sits behind bars. Teplis prison is no parliament hall, no applause, no cameras, just a number, just a cell. But this story isn't about his prison sentence. It's about the echo of truth. The 3 women who came forward, who risked everything, are the real protagonists here. They didn't just accuse a powerful man. They forced a nation to confront its silence. Because in every society, power protects itself. Until someone breaks the wall, these survivors didn't just want justice for themselves. They wanted to make sure the next girl didn't have to stay silent, that the next powerful man wouldn't get a pass. Dominik Feri may serve 3 years, but the real sentence is written on his legacy. A legacy that once shined with hope, now darkened by truth. And for the rest of us, a lesson. Power corrupts when left unchecked. Silence enables cruelty. But truth, when spoken, can tear down even the strongest masks. And that's the story they tried to bury. A man once praised, now exposed. A truth once silenced, now shouted. This isn't just Dominik Feri's downfall. It's a wake-up call for every system that shields the powerful and silences the vulnerable. So if this shook you, let it move you.
The case may be closed, but criminology never sleeps. Like and subscribe at join Criminology and step deeper into the dark with us.